Yes.
Alright, I'm recording.
Hi, my name is Andrew David. I'm a professor of environmental science at Boston University, and recently my research has focused around bottled water and how we drink it and the effects it has on our environment. I used to be a big fan of bottled water myself, but when you think about a bottle like this, think about the oil and it goes into making it and the pollutants it produces while making it. It really is it's a question of consumption, and for a bottle of water, I'm not sure we should be putting all this bad stuff into our environment and taking all this stuff out of our earth. So I've started a campaign to provide students with reusable bottles that they can use, so hopefully we can cut down bottled water.
How do you go about getting kids to come pick up bottles that they can use to refill? What do you do?
Well, I've put flyers around campus, and I've told people in my courses, I've said, if you want to get an A, stop by my office, get a bottle, use it, show me your understanding, what I'm trying to teach you in class.
Do you accept bottles that students bring by? If they find them around in recycling bins or laying around, do you accept those?
Yes, I will accept those. They're not ideal. I prefer they have something that is sort of purpose-made to survive longer, because the problem with this, you can reuse this certainly many times, but at some point this is gonna not function anymore, whereas a purpose-made reusable bottle of water, that's really great, so encourage them to go out and get something.
So what would you say that your #1 goal, summing up, for your campaign would be?
My #1 goal, obviously the long-run goal is, getting rid of bottled water completely. I'm not sure that's ever going to happen, but I think people should understand there are consequences to the bottles we use. There are consequences to sort of what we think of as convenience. And so I just want to spread the message about it.
Great, thank you.
This is a story about a world obsessed with stuff. It's a story about a system in crisis. We're trashing the planet, we're trashing each other, and we're not even having fun. The good thing is that when we start to understand the system, we start to see lots of places to step in and turn these problems into solutions. One of the problems with trying to use less stuff is that sometimes we feel like we really need it. What if you live in a city like, say, Cleveland, and you want a glass of water? Are you going to take your chances and get it from the city tap? Or should you reach for a bottle of water that comes from the pristine rainforest of Fiji? Well, Fiji brand water thought the answer to this question was obvious, so they built a whole ad campaign around it. It turned out to be one of the dumbest moves in advertising history. You see, the city of Cleveland didn't like being the butt of Fiji's jokes, so they did some tests, and guess what? These tests showed a glass of Fiji water is lower quality, it loses taste tests against Cleveland Tap, and costs thousands of times more. This story is typical of what happens when you test bottled water against tap water. Is it cleaner? Sometimes, sometimes not. In many ways, bottled water is less regulated than tap. Is it tastier? In taste tests across the country, people consistently choose tap over bottled water. These bottled water companies say they're just meeting consumer demand. But who would demand a less sustainable, less tasty, way more expensive product, especially when you can get for almost free in your kitchen? Bottled water costs about 2,000 times more than tap water. Can you imagine paying 2,000 times the price of anything else? How about a $10,000 sandwich? Yet people in the U.S. buy more than 500 million bottles of water every week. That is enough to circle the globe more than 5 times. How did this come to be? Well, it all goes back to how our materials economy works, and one of its key drivers, which is known as manufactured demand. If companies want to keep growing, they have to keep selling more and more stuff. In the 1970s, giant soft drink companies got worried as they saw their growth projections starting to level off. There's only so much soda a person can drink. Plus, it wouldn't be long before people began realizing soda is not that healthy and turned back to, gasp, drinking tap water. Well, the companies found their next big idea in a silly designer product that most people laughed off as a passing yuppie fad. Water is free, people said back then. What will they sell us next? Air? So how do you get people to buy this fringe product? Simple. You manufacture demand. How do you do that? Well, imagine you're in charge of a bottled water company. Since people aren't lining up to trade their hard-earned money for your unnecessary product, you make them feel scared and insecure if they don't have it. And that's exactly what the bottled water industry did. One of their first marketing tactics was to scare people about tap water with ads like Fiji's Cleveland campaign. When we're done, one top water executive said, tap water will be relegated to showers and washing dishes. Next, you hide the reality of your product behind images of pure fantasy. Have you ever noticed how bottled water tries to seduce us with pictures of mountain streams and pristine nature? But guess where a third of all bottled water in the U.S. actually comes from? The tap. Pepsi's Aquafina and Coke's Dasani are two of the many brands that are really filtered tap water. But the pristine nature lie goes much deeper. In a recent full-page ad, Nestle said, bottled water is the most environmentally responsible consumer product in the world. What? They are trashing